All right, so tonight we're going to talk about the types of narcissist. You're probably very familiar with the term narcissist, and oftentimes when people throw the term narcissist around, generally they're talking about the grandiose narcissist. When you think about the term narcissist, and when people typically throw the term narcissist around, they're typically talking about the grandiose narcissist. What do they mean when they use the term narcissist, or they typically refer to a narcissist? When they're talking about the grandiose narcissist, they're typically talking about the overt type of narcissist, the one that is real outgoing, the arrogant, pretentious, aggressive type of narcissist, the one that is really showy, the one that's more in your face. That one is easy to identify. That one lets you know that they are a narcissist. So I won't spend a lot of time on the grandiose type of narcissist because they are typically easy to spot. What I will spend time today on is the covert narcissist. The covert narcissist is one that is usually harder to identify. Um, the reason why the covert narcissist is harder to identify is because that is the one that I call the one that lurks in the shadows. Usually, the covert narcissist is the one that most people don't see coming because the covert narcissist likes to play in the shadows. That is the one that we will call the narcissist that likes to throw the rock and hide their hands. But the covert narcissist is actually just as damaging and as um, can be um, just as dangerous as a overt narcissist or a grandiose narcissist. And the reason why is because you don't see them coming. I was involved with a covert narcissist for over 9 years. The problem was, it was the last 4 months before I realized that I was in a relationship with a covert narcissist. It was like I was in a Scooby-Doo movie, and the sheets were pulled off, and I was like, oh my gosh, who have I been in a relationship with all this time? And then when I started looking back over the clues, I was like, oh my gosh, all this time. And I started reading and researching, and it was like I was in a clue mystery, and going back and researching. And when I started putting things together, things started making sense. And it was like I said, it was like a suspense novel as I started putting things back together. So hopefully, as I start sharing some of the personality traits, I can help put some clues together for you. If I can help you with a few things, it's worth it for me. So I'll start off with some of the personality traits of a covert narcissist. So again, the covert narcissist is, they share many of the same, think of the covert narcissist as the same person on the inside as the grandiose narcissist. You just don't see them coming. So what are the personality traits? One thing, they are hypersensitive to criticism. They cannot stand for you to criticize them. Let me start with that. They are hypersensitive to criticism. Now, they may not tell you. That's the thing about the covert narcissist. They may not tell you how they feel because they will hold a grudge, but they cannot stand for you to criticize them. So that's number one. They're hypersensitive to criticism. Number two, they have chronic envy. They are extremely envious. Let me say that again. They have chronic envy. They have envy for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They major in envy. Envy is a part of their DNA. Another personality trait of theirs, they are have a deep lack of empathy. They may pretend to have empathy, but it is not in them. They do not understand. They do not possess the empathy trait. Another personality trait of theirs, they have an inflated sense of self-importance. So if you go back and research how narcissists are created, they just have a highly inflated sense of self-importance. And then the fifth personality trait of covert narcissist, they have a very fragile self-esteem. And when we look at the behavioral traits, one, they are extremely, they have a strong sense, they are extremely passive aggressive. Another trait, behavioral trait, they love to play the victim. They love to play the victim. They will go out of their way to paint you as the aggressor, and they will play the victim every time. They will find a way to make you the aggressor, and they will find a way for them to be the victim in every situation. Another trait of the covert narcissist, they love giving you the silent treatment. They love to do that. That is one way that they will punish you. Another behavioral trait of the covert narcissist, they love to use self-deprecation for attention. So they will try to use self-deprecating jokes only to get attention. And they'll do that in the guise of a joke, but they'll actually be doing it not for the joke, but as a disguise so you can actually flatter them. So let me give an example. They'll say something that they feel is a strength of theirs. Let's say that they put a lot of effort into their outfit. They'll say, oh, I know we're going to this big event, and I didn't have time. They might have spent an hour getting dressed, but they'll say, well, I had to rush and get dressed and put on this, this little outfit. I had to throw something together at the last minute and put these rags on. And they say that so you'll brag on their outfit. That's the self-deprecating. They'll make the statement in an effort to get you to brag on them. They want the attention, but they'll act like they don't. They really want you to brag on them. They're doing it for attention under the guise of self-deprecation. Another behavioral trait of the covert narcissist, they hold grudges. They will hold grudges for 10, 15 years. They will act like it's no big deal, but remember the passive-aggressive trait. Passive aggression and holding grudges go hand in hand for the covert narcissist. So they will have a passive-aggressive action while they're holding that long grudge. They will hold that grudge and do some passive-aggressive actions so they can keep that grudge going for a long time. Part of their relationship dynamics, they are emotional manipulators. So they will use different techniques like gaslighting and to make you doubt your own sanity. So what's a gaslighting technique? You and that person can be in a particular scenario. Let's say that you call them and they ask you what you're doing. You can tell them, I'm on my way to the doctor. And they say, okay. And then 2 hours later, you can call them and they say, what are you doing? You say, you're on your way home. And they say, well, what were you doing earlier? And you say, well, I went to the doctor. And they were like, you didn't tell me you were going to the doctor. And then you're sitting there like, well, I know I told you I was going to the doctor. They will do that just to mess with you. And you're like, what would you gain from that? They do that to have you doubt yourself. And you're thinking, why would a sane person do that? They do that, again, to have you doubt yourself. That is gaslighting. And that's an old term, but long story short, They do that to someone long enough. They do that to have you doubt your own sanity. They do that so when the time is right, they can introduce something that makes no sense, or they can do something um, that they want you to believe that's not true. And so when they introduce it and it's not true, then when you don't believe them, they can say, well, I don't know, you're a little off, and then they start to make you doubt your own sanity because they've introduced doubt into your mind, and so they start having you doubt your own sanity. That's gaslighting, and that's why they do it. So they become master manipulators to make you doubt your own sanity. Sick, but that's why they do it. So they use different emotional manipulation tactics, such as gaslighting, the silent treatment to control you. Another one is trauma bonding. So they can do abuse followed by positive reinforcement to draw you closer to them. And it's keeping you off balance so you don't know whether to be hurt. And keeping you off balance is another way to control you. If you have been hurt by them and they abuse you and they say something hurtful to you, it's another way to control you. One way that a covert narcissist, they're a master manipulator. So one thing that they could do is, their reputation is paramount to them. So one thing a covert narcissist, their reputation is paramount. So they want to be the supreme person in public. Their reputation is everything. So to the public, they want to be pristine. But in private, they can act like a different person to you. And again, there's this push and pull. They want to control you. So here's what a master manipulator will do. Here's what a covert narcissist will do. They could be, let's say you're a couple friend, and you all are about to go out. You spend a lot of time getting dressed. Right as you get ready to go out, they can say, are you going to wear that? To make you doubt that you look nice, just to mess with your self-esteem. That's one thing that they could do. Or as you all get out and you're in front of everybody, they could say something really nice about you and say, my spouse is this, and my spouse is great, and I love my spouse. My spouse is blah, blah, blah. Let's say they say, my spouse is amazing. I'm so proud to be married to my spouse because my spouse is beautiful and my spouse is loving, and I'm so happy to be married to my spouse. We've been married for 5 years, and I'm just so happy to be married to my spouse. And everybody is like, oh, that's so sweet. Aren't they lucky to be married to XXX? And everybody's gushing because you're so lucky to be married to them. So you're feeling great because they bragged about you in front of everybody. So you're feeling wonderful. And then as soon as you get in the car, they look at you and say, why did you eat that? Did you know that your mouth was open when you were chewing? And so there's this, you're feeling confused because they bragged on you in front of everybody. But then as soon as you got in the car, they said something negative about you in a real nasty tone. So you're feeling like whiplash. That's manipulation. And so that's that covert, nice, nasty, push-pull. That's a master manipulator because they would never let people in public know how they really are, but they'll pull the mask off in front of you. That's another technique of the covert. They wear the mask. Oh, that's another thing. They can only wear the mask for so long. So the gaslighting is part of there are different stages of narcissists. They gaslight, they do the love bombing when they first meet you to pull you in. And they can only wear a mask for so long. So there are different stages. But when they first meet you, they're going to wear the mask and they're going to be perfect, and they're going to put on this mask to present themselves as this ideal person, and they're going to try to pretend to be this ideal person to you to pull you into them. And it's going to be intense, and it's going to be real hot and heavy because they can only wear the mask for so long. Think about wearing a Halloween costume. It's real hot, and you can't wear that mask forever. Well, The narcissist, and especially the covert narcissist, can only wear that mask for so long in public. So they're gonna really be concerned, hyper vigilant about their facade in public. So they're really gonna be concerned about how they come across in public and their image in public. So I'm glad I brought that up. They are hyper vigilant about their public persona, hyper vigilant about how they come across in public. They really want to appear one way in public. So they're more likely to keep that mask on in public and more likely to let that mask fade at home. So you are more likely to receive the abuse at home. Yes, you're more likely to see the mask slip than anyone else. That master manipulator, they are very unhappy people. They're very unhappy people. They are extremely unhappy people. That's why they are attracted to you. They are jealous and envious of your joy. They are envious. They are so envious of your joy. That's why they were attracted to you. Part of that inconsistent behavior, and they change drastically, is because they don't have that inner joy. And part of them trying to gaslight you and all of that is because they don't have that joy inside. So as they try to dominate you, and you'll go through what's called that trauma bond, is that push and pull. They will abuse you, and then they will they'll pull you back in with positive treatment. And it's that push and pull, pulling you back, because no one is going to stay for constant negative treatment. But there's a push and pull as they try to control and manipulate you. I was talking about the relationship dynamics, but another thing with the relationship dynamics, they are very self-centered in conversations. They love to dominate conversations, and they show very little interest in others if you really pay attention to their conversations. Another sign of a covert narcissist, they have very grandiose fantasies. Their fantasies, that's where they're similar to the overt narcissist. When you listen to their dreams, they're very grandiose. They're very smug. There's a smugness if you look at how they look at other people. If they think no one is watching, there's a smugness to their smile. They often prefer to take photos by themselves. They rarely like to take photos with you. Pay attention to how they like to take pictures. They rarely like to take photos with people. They prefer to take photos by themselves. They have a smugness in their photos, in their smile. There's a smugness in their smile. Overall, they have a very high negativity, and they have a resentfulness. They're very pessimistic in their overall outlook, and they complain frequently. I've tried to keep this video short. I hope I haven't gone too long, but I hope I gave you an overall outlook or overview on what a covert narcissist is. Please share in the comments if this resonated, and share if that has resonated with your experience. I hope I've answered your questions. I'm here for you. And remember, you deserve love. Take care.